Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch, well, your favorite topic. That's right, the world's going to end in a nuclear war. I mean, I know that's probably exaggerating things a lot, but things are heating up, and I've been telling you this for a while. Just like every day it seems like stuff is happening. I know that there's still the belief that this is all just posturing, it's bluffs and stuff, but I will like to point out that a lot of the stuff that's happened so far was also said to just be saber rattling, and it did happen. You know, the original war with Russia and Ukraine, and buildings and bridges being blown up and cable lines being cut, and ballistic missiles being launched in United States and European missiles being launched at Russia. And well, a lot of this stuff, a lot of people said wasn't going to happen, and well, it did happen. So the likelihood, or at least the possibility, of this escalating to a bigger, wide-scale global war and even possibly nuclear war, I think is becoming more of a reality. We have to be pretty serious about understanding that and making appropriate preparations for that. Biden has sold $680 million worth of weapons, or they've agreed to the sale of $680 million worth of weapons to Israel. So even though there's a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, I mean, they're getting a lot. And Israel even said that the reason why they were signing this 60-day ceasefire so that they could regroup, you know, resupply and refocus. So it doesn't mean that it's over. It just means that it's paused for a little bit. Biden is also trying to get an additional $24 billion given to Ukraine. Weapons, money, all kinds of stuff, which is exactly what I said right after the election, that, you know, the Biden White House said that they were going to try to give Ukraine as much as possible, give them enough to finish this war, is what they've said. And so that's what it looks like that they're trying to do. And things are just continually escalating. Today, Vladimir Putin ordered the Satan II missiles, which are the largest, most powerful, longest range intercontinental ballistic missiles on the planet, to go into battle ready, to get them ready to use, that they are activated to a certain extent. I mean, maybe not each individual warhead and stuff, but that the systems are ready to be used. They've also ordered a no-fly zones over the areas that they keep their missiles, at least till the end of this month, so for the next few days. So is it possible that we will see one of these things used? I don't know. I mean, they can hit just about anywhere on the planet with multiple nuclear warheads. So that's an escalation right there. The head of the German Foreign Intelligence Service has said that Russia's hybrid tactics against NATO, against the West, could possibly spark an Article 5 from NATO. And so I think what that means is, you know, the unconventional warfare, you know, cyber attacks, other things like that, that's happening could be enough for a Article 5 to be called. So that's escalating. It's one thing after another. Russia is claiming and saying that NATO is saying that they're going to preemptive strike. Now, NATO is fired back and said, we never said that. Their top admiral, their commanding officer, said, I didn't say that necessarily, but they said that they would strike back at Russia if they were at all touched. So it's back and forth and just constant escalation. Now, of course, Trump becoming president in less than, I guess, 60 days now has to be factored into this. But what's interesting is although Donald Trump has talked about removing deep state warmongers when he gets into office and global peace and stuff, he's not said anything specifically criticizing these recent actions from the United States and Europe against Russia, meaning the, ATACMS missiles and the Storm Shadow missiles and the possibility of sending other longer range, more, heavier missiles into Ukraine so that they can use them against Russia. There's not been any criticism that I've specific to that. Maybe generalized criticisms of war, but nothing specific to those things. And like I've pointed out, there have been at least 2 or 3 people within the Trump camp that have said that this is a good thing, to give Ukraine as much as possible as a deterrence of Russia. So that may happen. And, the idea that it could deter Russia, it's possible. If you gave Ukraine nukes and tomahawks and everything else, could it deter Russia? It's possible. But it also may backfire and may make things worse. It may make it escalate even worse. It's a gamble. So if that's the thing, it's a gamble. Also, Russia's currency is not doing real good right now. And part of that's because of sanctions and all this other stuff. And the Russian central bank has said that they are not purchasing any more US dollars. And one thing that you have to factor in is that according to Russian doctrine, that another country causing economic harm or economic collapse to them is also an existential threat, which would, in their opinion, give them justification to attack NATO. Even potentially maybe nuclear weapons, if they truly felt that their economy collapsing or their currency collapsing is that level of an existential threat. So that's going on. So it's it doesn't even have to necessarily be NATO directly attacking Russia. Something like that could cause it to happen. Also, NATO is saying that they're very certain that Chinese ship did drag its anchor about 100 miles that caused those 2 data cable lines up there in northern Europe to be cut. They said they're not 100% sure yet if it was intentional, but they can't imagine it being an accident because of, I guess, the way it happened, the length of travel and all that kind of stuff, that it would make no sense that it just be a coincidence, an accident. So if that's true, was it China that was directly doing that? That ship had just left Russia before it did that. So was it Russia? Was it China? Or was it both because they're buddies? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. United States is sending more missile systems over into Japan and the Philippines to be a deterrence against North Korea and China. So things are progressing. And I think it's quite clear that NATO would like to be involved in a war with Russia before January 20th. Unless maybe they've worked out, there's some backroom deal with Trump that he's going to continue this on. I know that's contrary to what he says, but who knows? I mean, we don't know. We just know that it's obvious that they're trying to push this. And we have to get ready. I think probably what NATO is doing, if you look at European countries, they're, the people that would fill the ranks of their military, they're a different mentality. I mean, I hate to say it, but they're just weaker, I think. The average person is weaker than, say, the Russians. They're not that warrior mentality anymore. And I think that they're trying to provoke Russia into doing something so that they can show their people, hey, we're just defending ourselves. We've got to go fight. Because if they did something more proactive, that it was obvious that NATO started it, I don't think that a lot of people in Europe would support that. The people may turn on them. So that's just an opinion, but there may be some truth to it. We have to be ready for this. This is just because could just be centralized in Europe doesn't mean it's not going to affect us. And of course, if this gets out of hand and if it becomes nuclear, yeah, I think that America could get attacked in some way. Maybe not directly in the homeland, because there's a lot of targets that aren't in the lower 48, or even, including Hawaii and Alaska. There's a lot of other American targets. There's aircraft carriers, there's bases, there's, all kinds of stuff that Russia could attack. But it still could cause breakdowns on our end. It could cause panic on our end. It could cause government overreach and control. It could cause suspension of rights and all of this kind of stuff. And so that's really where we have to be putting a lot of our focus on. Do you have the ability to kind of be cut off for a while? I've said that before. You should be able to, at the very least, be able to exist without the system, without utilities, without running water, without electricity, and it's winter coming on, so you better have an alternative for heat. All of that for 60 to 90 day minimum. That's like hunkering down. It's bad. 60 to 90 days, and you're, like I said, you're going into winter, so it's not like you can live off of the land as easy. If you didn't produce food over the last few years and put it away, it's, most of you don't have a garden growing right now. So winters are a bad time for wars, because the weather and everything just makes things worse. And so we could definitely see fuel costs skyrocket. We could see the availability of things cut back. If we went into a full wartime production, the prices of things will go up, and the availability of certain items would go down. And so at the very least, it's going to affect us in that way. And it could affect us in many other ways. Protests, riots, attacks, terrorist attacks, direct conflict, all that kind of stuff is possible. And the way things are trending right now, it's looking like a strong possibility. And I think that, like I said, I think Joe Biden wants this bad. I think NATO wants this bad. And we have to prepare for that. Keep getting your houses in order, folks. This is serious stuff. I'm going to leave a link to a friend's, it's the soap lady, okay? It's the soap lady. Some of you know who that is. She's got some sales going on, and they have a new YouTube channel. And so go over and check that out. I'll leave links to that down in the description, so you can go check out their YouTube channel and some of their products for sale, or that's on sale. Get your houses in order, folks. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.